Hello there. Today I'd just like to have a quick waffle on grindstones. You've probably all got one in your workshop, so I might pan back a bit. Apologies for the funny angle and view, but I've propped the camera up on some books in order to get this so I can do what I want to, and you can still see me in shots. Move that out of the way for a moment. I was watching someone's video and they were talking about their little grinder. In fact, the person in question had more than one, but I could see that the grinding wheel was all pinned with obviously some soft material, aluminium or something similar. It was all pinned like a file is. Well, you can't do, you should never use soft materials on grindstones. There's much better ways of removing material, and well, you just simply spoil the stones, and you know, things need to be in good order in order to do good work. So they want dressing, cleaning up to provide fresh grit and get rid of contaminants and so forth. So you want to keep certain wheels for certain jobs, and you want a rest which is just clear of the wheel. You don't want a big gap here, otherwise things can tip up and jam your fingers. There are many wheel cleaners, and I won't go into them because there's loads on here, and you can find all out about them. But I come across these little industrial diamonds on a tool, and there's many of them on that surface. And by far, to do it by hand, these multi-industrial diamond tools is the ideal, rather than a single point. I'll come to a single point in a minute, but we have very little control by hand. So a little grinder like this, used for sharpening drills and just general sharpening, all we need is a nice clean wheel which is straight with the surface. And what I do, I'll just switch that on, so I might zoom in. That might help. And using my hand against this piece to determine how far I push it in, just transfer it across. I wonder if that shows that. Handbag. So this is my general purpose grinder. It's a good idea to keep these away from milling machines, lathes, because of all that grinding dust. But at least I know after cleaning these that that wheel is straight and square to the face of my rest, which makes sharpening so much easier. Let's take it a little bit further. Whilst it would be really nice to have a professional cutter grinder, one has to work with what one has in my little workshop. No longer doing things sort of professionally, so to speak. I have to make do and mend, so in place of a cutter grinder, I think I've shown this before, this is an ordinary bench grinder. There's no end play in any of the shafts. It's important to make sure you get one that isn't, and this is up on little stilts and it's bolted through on a bench, and this one isn't used for this one is mainly used, should I say, for cutting multifaceted milling cutters, and where I want sort of something that resembles some sort of precision, shall we say. And this is it's quite a cheap one, but there's very little play, any lateral play that way. But it still applies that all surfaces should be straight, square and clean. And it is in situations like this where, and I've got a single point in this chuck here, which is probably better than the multi diamond tools. I've got various heads and things that I fit to these tools for holding different tooling, whatever I'm doing. And I've made up this, see if I can pan there a little bit better. I've made up this very simple crossways dovetail. This transverses across the wheel, and turning this advances it forward. And so if I wish to dress the surface of this wheel, well, I can do so by using this arrangement. Let's switch it on. Let's see if I can get in a bit further. I'll try. Perhaps that'll do. If we advance the diamond, don't know if you can hear that, it's just touching. That wheel is now perfect. Wrong way. So, you can see the principle of this. There's dovetail slides that allow me to advance this backwards and forwards. There's a means, simply a lever here, to transfer the face of the wheel. And I can adjust the stop on this end. I can determine the angle by tilting this, and this also applies to the other, this one. It's a little bit more sophisticated, and I've got controls in that axis and controls in that axis, and I can slide this backwards and forwards. This can be tilted, that can be undone and pivoted to whatever angles I want, which is necessary in order to do something like that. So this is a Poormans, a really poor man's cutter grinder, but I can recommend that you have a go with something like this. You'll find the benefits, if you've only just simply got a two-wheel grinder, so beneficial, and your work will improve as a result. If you're contemplating, just a little extra, if you're contemplating making something like this, I failed to say that it's pivoted at the front and there's a certain degree of angle positioning here. But if you do decide to copy, so I can get in a bit further, if you do decide to copy this simple design, don't make the mistake I did. I've made my dovetails up this way, and that was, on second thoughts, not the best thing to do, because grit can come in here and end up on those. If I'd have turned them up the other way, as I've done with this, there'd been very little problems as regarding grit. So bear that in mind if you decide to make yourself something that resembles a cutter grinder. I don't think it requires much more explanation than that. Anyway, I hope this little video has given you a little thought about the care and the dressing or surfacing of grinding wheels, which is, you know, it's something to be taken quite seriously in my opinion. Hope you found that interesting. Bye for now.